Hello writers, and welcome back to part 5 of my Is It Writer's Block series. Today we are going to be releasing an early episode because I was inspired for this one from something that happened, or like something that was brought up in my writing server. So I figured to just record this, and this would, be another extra release for the week. And yeah, so today we're going to be looking at, is it writer's block, or do you need another writing tool? And what I mean by this is that today we're going to be looking at writing sprints as a tool that writers can use to, well, I will be explaining what writing sprints are, but as a good tool to help writers out. And to explain what they are timed writing sessions basically. They can range from like 5 minutes to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or even an hour. And the objective in that time is to write as much as you can in your project or your document. And writing sprints can be done on your own, so you set a timer on your phone or computer. There are also Twitter accounts with writing sprint timers, which I will link one in the description. Or you can use bots in Discord servers, which I have 2 bots that can facilitate sprints in my writing server. I will be demonstrating a bit about the bots, or one of the bots later, because I also want to utilize this video as a tutorial for my server, so they can understand what writing sprints are used for. But yeah, let's get into it. What are writing sprints? How I define writing sprints are, they're a helpful tool to encourage writers to get their words out. The aim of writing sprints are to get to write as much as you can in a set limited time and edit the words afterwards. You do not edit during your writing sprints. To further help explain how writing sprints can help, I have a list of why sprints, and I'll basically run through them. So the first point is limited time. And I think one of the issues that writers may find when they want to write a book or like work on a project is that they have other responsibilities that they have to commit time to, such as their job or schoolwork. And I think sprints are a good way to fit in writing in a limited time, because you are actually keeping track of how long you are taking the sprint. So even 20 minutes of sprinting a day can really build up your writing. I'll actually do a few calculations. So for me, I usually participate writing sprints at about 34 words per minute. So if we do 34 times 20 minutes, then in one session I'd be writing around 680 words. And having 680 words to, like, even if you do like a 5 minutes more, maybe like 680 words to like 1,000 words per day, because you're sprinting for 20 minutes. But even if it's not daily, like a couple times a week, 20 minutes of sprinting, you will be making progress on your writing even if you have limited time. The second point is reaching word count goals. So sprinting helps because you're trying to get as many words out as you can in a limited time, as mentioned, which means you will be able to reach your writing goals faster. You won't be concentrating so much on the actual writing, but actually getting the words out to reach your goals. Which is to say that there are pros and cons to sprinting, and one of the cons are that you will be you will be focusing more on the quantity rather than the quality of your writing during sprints, which is fine because, sprints are like very much used for first drafts, and first drafts you don't have to make them perfect. So even if you get the words out with sprints, you can always edit it later and like fix the quality after you get the words out, because you can't fix any words if you don't have the words yet. The third one is make the best of your time. This is similar to the first point about limited time, except maybe even if you don't have so many responsibilities that you need to fit in writing in your schedule, but that you want to make the best of the minutes you do spend writing, which means if you are working on your first draft, or you really want to get some words out and like finish a chapter or something like that, or reach a goal, then making the best of your time using a sprint will get those words out, and you can dedicate some time afterwards for editing and fixing it up and fixing the quality. The next point is faster writing. Sprints encourage fast writing, which is probably why they're called sprints, because fast running, fast writing. Under the time pressure or limit, then you'll actually be encouraged to write faster, which means you'll get your words out like in bigger quantities and also at a faster pace. It can also help you with your typing speed and like learning to type faster, because for me, I do type pretty fast when I'm not writing, but then when I'm writing I have to think about it. But doing sprints, I can practice typing fast even while I'm writing, and it's just a good way to build a habit. The next point is playful competition, because For example, which I will show later, we have systems such as the sprint bot in a Discord server that you can use with commands and such, and it will like automatically time you, and it will also let you record your word count by the end of it and display it in a leaderboard. And sprints can be a form of friendly competition with a few friends or other server members or community members, where you guys race each other in like 10 minutes to see how many words you can write. And it doesn't have to be a really serious competition because you're just trying to make progress on your novel and have a bit of fun writing, but it can be some playful competition to have like a little game with your friends when sprinting. The final points I have here is fast-paced scenes. So as mentioned, you write faster in sprints, and sprints encourage you to write faster, which means they could be a really good tool for when you're trying to write a fast-paced scene and you really want to get into that mood of writing fast, quickly, and like getting into the same beat as your characters or scene or like whatever's happening in your story. And that could be a good way to, encourage yourself to write fast-paced scenes as opposed to taking your time in a slower-paced scene where you need to really think out the details. And well, not to say that there aren't details in fast-paced scenes, but um, it can take a bit longer to think out a slower scene than a faster one, because this is my view. I think with a faster one, it's better to get the words out really fast as soon as you can in your head as they come to really get that feeling and atmosphere. And as said, you can always edit it afterwards. So now that I explained a bit about sprints, I will be demonstrating on my Discord server how we can, utilize bots to get sprinting, and so I can, show you guys how to actually use it, because I know there are people who, when they learn about sprints, they don't know how to do it, and that's completely fine. But that's why this video is here, to actually try and teach you guys how you can use technology to, your advantage to actually get sprinting done. So let's go. And yeah, so what we're going to do is I have a channel called Scholars Bots, which is basically the channel for sending things related to the bots in my server, or the robots in my server, to do with writing. And there is currently a sprint going on here, so I can't exactly send the commands, but I can teach you what the commands are. So here's the bot we use, mainly for sprinting, which is called Sprinto. And it's really simple to use. Every bot has a prefix, which is what you use like in front of a command so the bot knows what you're doing, like that you're speaking to them basically. So for Sprinto, it's the underscore, which is like if you press shift and next to the plus sign on your keyboard, then you get the underscore. And the basic commands for this one are, if there's a current sprint going on, you can do underscore join, and this will make it so you join the current sprint. So it says I've joined with 0 starting words. If I want to start with more, I can do join maybe 100 words, and it'll update my word count with 400 words. If I want to leave, I believe I can just type underscore leave. Yeah, and I've left the sprint. You will receive notifications and pings if you join a sprint, but you can always just do forget me, or I think it's never ping. I have that because I don't need a ping to notify me when a sprint's going on. I'll just pop in when I need to start a sprint. I think I can still do this even if I left. So time. So by doing time, you can either show how long it is until a sprint starts or how long there's left in the sprint. So Words Magician, she set a sprint for 20 minutes or until 55 on the clock. It doesn't have an hour in front because of time zones, but until 55. So in about 15 minutes, because it's currently 12:40 for me. So here it says 15 minutes, 13 seconds remaining, runs until 55. So it'll let you know how long it is left. Maybe if there's not enough time left in the ongoing sprint, you can just join the next one. If we want to create a sprint, we can do underscore sprint, and then however minutes you want. So we can do 10 minutes. If you want 10 minutes, you can do 20 minutes. As much or as little as you want. You can experiment to see what it's best fit for you, because for me personally, I don't like sprinting for too long because it's good to take breaks in between. So I usually sprint for 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes 20, but I don't usually sprint for 30 minutes because it's a bit long for me. An hour is definitely too long, but that's okay. So you could do sprints 10 minutes, or you could do sprint for 10 minutes, but you could just write 10. And maybe you want to have a bit of preparation time, so you could do in 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, however much time you want to use to prepare. I think the default is a minute. So if you just do sprint 10, it should just like come up and say, sprint will be beginning in, yeah, like join the sprint. The next sprint runs for however much time it will begin at this time, or like in 3 minutes 47 seconds. And it prompts you, you use this command join n, with n being the word count, or just join to join with 0 words. And it's a bit long till this sprint finishes, so I'm going to scroll up and look at some past ones to find an example of a leaderboard I can use. So there's a leaderboard here, and see, like up here it says time's up. It will like the bot is like indicating of like when it starts and finishes. Like it will always use green emojis for the starting messages, and it'll always use red emojis for the ending messages. So time's up, and it says please give your final word count. So you need to be able to track your word count when you do your sprints, because the sprints aren't in Discord. Like the writing itself you need to do in your own program. So for example, if you're using Google Docs, it's probably good to separate what you're writing for the sprint with, or like from everything else. So you can just like highlight it and then like do Control-Shift-C to find the word count of the highlighted area. Because when you finish a sprint, you need to do underscore WC, so word count, and then your final word count. So for example, if I started with 100 and I wrote 500 words in the sprint, I'll do word count 600. And then the bot will be able to calculate that I wrote 500 new words. It will also record deleted words if you like, for example, if I deleted 50 words during my sprint, which I wouldn't suggest because your sprints are about writing words, but sometimes we do end up deleting words. So for example, writing count, I deleted 50, so I did writing count 50. It will note, like it will ask you, did you delete 50 or would you like to resubmit your word count? And you can confirm it, and then it will say like minus 50, like 50 deleted words. And after like 4.5 minutes, or after everyone has submitted their word counts, the bot will say all word counts in, results shortly. It'll come up with a leaderboard with a trophy, and it'll just rank whoever participated in the sprint on the leaderboard with how many words they wrote and their words per minute. So for example, in this sprint from the second of the start of the year, the unknown writer of tomorrow wrote 641 words in a 30-minute sprint, which means they wrote for 21 words per minute. And it's just a good way to, like, you know, as I said, good way to get words in. You can keep track of your words per minute to see if you can start writing faster. Friendly competition, and it's very simple to use the bot in this server to just time yourself and get writing. So let's just go over again. There are a few commands you can do: /sprint 10 minutes in 1 minute, or you can do it like how Word did it: sprints 10 minutes. What did you write? I'm gonna just double check. At, and then you can write the hour, so like at 50, like whatever time 50. So for me it'd be 12:50. You can just do sprint 10 if you want, and then it should send, I believe. Even if you like it, even if you forget the commands, you can just scroll through the channel, or you can go to the pinned messages up here, and down here you'll find commands to the different bots. So I wrote a message about the sprinting bot, and then the sprinter help here. Yeah, there's one here: sprint quick, start a speedy 5-minute sprint where sprinter is less patient. And there are a few commands here that if you need any help. But yeah, the other one is join. If you want to join your own sprint or join an ongoing sprint, you can join with like just that. Join with 0 words, you can join for 100 words, join with how many words you have. You can leave if you want to, if you like need to go. At the end of the sprint, you do WC for word count, and then you update your word count, so maybe 1,000. And then from there, everything else the bot will do. So the bot will time you. You can, oh wait, time. It's also time to check how long the sprint, like until it starts and until it ends. Yeah, there's time. So you can join it, you can make a sprint, you can join a sprint, you can leave one, you can update your word counts, and you can check the time for sprints. And I do recommend using this kind of bot to your advantage, because like of what I've listed earlier, and because like, you know, it's just a good place to meet with people to get writing in. So now I'm on Twitter, and I do want to show you guys this account as well that I was just gonna link in the description, but I figured might as well just show you guys as well. So one I know of is at Writing Sprinter, or they're known as Kingo Writing Sprints. 24/7 writing sprints and tournaments for the writing community. You can go to these different accounts for different things. So writing tips like this account, word ideas here. There's another one here for prompts. But yeah, I'll just show you. So here, 17 minutes ago, we had a 20-minute sprint. Now commencing, the sprint ends at 50 of the hour. So right now it's 12:47 for me, which means it will end in 3 minutes. They also add an optional prompt. For this one, you don't really submit your word count like you do for the writing bot, so there's less of a community aspect or less of a friendly competition aspect, but it is still really useful if you don't want to join Discord and use the bot. Then you can just go on Twitter and use these timers, and I think you should keep notifications on. I'm not quite sure. Or you can just you can use it as a prompt to time yourself. You can set a timer or an alarm to go off at 50. I don't personally use the Twitter sprinting things, but I do know that they exist, which means they are an option to explore if you are a Twitter user and not so much a Discord user, and maybe you don't really want to use the community or friendly competition aspect so much, but more of the let's get productive and start writing. But even then, you can set a timer on your phone for 20 minutes and just write as much as you can that time. And then I would recommend actually keeping a record of how your sprints go, because you can see how much you improve even no matter what method you use, with Twitter, with Discord bot, with your own timer. Keep a record of how your sprints go, because it will show your growth and your progress with how much you write in each sprint and how your words per minute are going. They're really easy to calculate. You just get your end result word count and divide it by however long the sprint was, and it'll show you what your words per minute rate is. So yeah, that about wraps it up for explaining writing sprints, how they're used, what they're for, the benefits of them, also mentioning a few cons. But it's not like you're going to be sprinting for your entire project. They're just a really useful tool to have in your toolkit for when you're wanting to make progress on your novel or projects. Of course, it doesn't mean you always have to be writing fast or writing as much as you can or writing without editing. There are times for taking your time and actually working through your ideas and actually, writing slow, because writing is what you make of it, and you're supposed to have fun when writing. So don't pressure yourself too much to do writing sprints. They're just a good suggestion for, my list of things that it could help you with. I do recommend it for people who do have a tight schedule, who have a lot of responsibilities and need to schedule out their time or block out their time so that they know what they're doing for different hours. So for example, just having, as I said, 20 minutes a day for writing sprints could be beneficial to your project, and you could get into the habit of it. As usual, here's my video plug about my Twitch productivity streams to get work done, talk writing, listen to lo-fi music every Saturday at 10 p.m. AEDT or AEST, Australian Eastern Time basically. If you go to my Twitch account and the schedule tab, you'll find the time converted to your time zone. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you. Hopefully this helps people in my server understand how sprints work and how to work the bot. And I will see you next time for other videos that I think up. Thank you.